We're here with Mr. Frank Lampard. Super Frank, how are you?
Very good, thank you. All okay, all good.
First, before we get into football, during quarantine, I want to know how you keeping this fresh, because I ain't got a trim in like 2 months. I need to know your secret.
No, my wife had a bit of a go a little while ago, so yeah, I had just before lockdown, I had a pretty short one, so I'm just managing it at the moment, like we all are.
During this obviously unfortunate time, how have you been trying to keep your motivation for yourself and also being the motivation for your club?
Well, I mean, it's obviously been difficult for everybody. I think everyone's feeling it in different ways, particularly in the lockdown period and the change of life and lifestyle. So I just try to remain positive through those times. You know, the one small benefit, and it's been tough times, is you spend time with your family. So being around that and my children has obviously been a small plus for me. In terms of my job, working as manager for Chelsea, I think it's been really important that I try and do the right things. And this is new for everybody. So what is the right thing? For me, it was communication. You know, we're now, you know, we're again talking like this. I never would have been huge on speaking on video with people. I don't like looking at myself on video, which is not a great thing. But I've tried to keep in touch with the players. We've had big meetings on Zoom as a group, working a lot within the club to try and not just talk to players, but staff around Chelsea is huge. There's a lot to it. People who work behind the scenes have been doing a great jobs. So I've tried to communicate, and we're trying to all be positive.
Have you, in terms of like your Zoom calls, WhatsApp groups, are they big? Have you been big on quizzes? Has it been like a few training exercises remotely? Like, what's been happening as a group?
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing some exercises on Zoom, which I've got a great staff and team with me. So more the fitness staff that do some work with the lads right throughout this. So as soon as we went into lockdown, we realised that we had to look at this differently. So those sessions have been taking place. Then I also wanted, and I left a lot of players to it, and I had a lot of WhatsApps with players individually, but then I felt that we needed to all see each other's faces. So we've had some big Zooms where asking how everyone's getting on, talking about what might be in the future. It's just nice to see people's faces, and you realise that you miss them. You don't even realise sometimes when you're working day to day, because you get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of trying to win games every few days. But it was nice to see them all, and we've done it a few times.
Okay, I want to ask a double-barrel question here. I want to know, during this time, what's the one thing you've missed about management, and also the one positive that you've taken out from being in this quarantine time as a manager?
Well, the one thing I've missed, the main thing I've missed, and of course winning a game and celebrating, those things are very clear. We all see that, but I do love working, and I'm at the training ground here, working out on the grass with the players. And we've got a lot of young players. It's been spoken about a lot this year, but not just the young, the squad itself, to try and improve, to find ways to improve, and that kind of daily desire to get better. And I think the 2 games just before lockdown were 2 of our best games of the season against Liverpool and Everton. And that was a really good feeling at that point, which was a shame for us. In terms of what it's made me realise, very much that the job can consume you, and you have to take more time out, myself, with my family at home, and not think about football. With lockdown, it's made me not have to think about it so much, spending more time with the family, taking your mind away from it. And I think that's been one of the things that I want to keep going. Hopefully, when we're back to some normality, is to make sure that I do take myself out of the football world occasionally.
Does this time of being in lockdown and being in quarantine a good time to kind of self-reflect, especially as it was your first season as a Premier League manager? Is this a good time to kind of reflect on how the season has been?
Yeah, it has. And I realised that quite early in lockdown, because, as I said, we had a really good feeling we had at the time that the season's obviously been difficult. As every Premier League manager will tell you, there are lots of things that you have to encounter every week. So it's been good for me to reflect, and in reflecting, thinking about how we can get better. I think that's the most positive thing you can do, is not reflect to look back and have regrets or this or that. I think it's thinking, well, what more can we do? And sometimes being away from it is good for your mind to think like that. So I've done a lot of planning and thinking, in touch with my staff a lot, as I say, thinking how we can train better, how we can be better.
Now, so lastly, as I said, you was one of my childhood heroes growing up. One of the best things in quarantine has been like all the archive and the reruns of games. Like, I just watched the Champions League where you gave that free ball for Ramirez, and he dinked the Barcelona keeper. Have you been watching like some of the archives, some of your best moments? Like, how's it been like?
Yeah, I have. I've been, I'm on social media occasionally. I'm not always on it, but when I do, I've been seeing a lot of great Chelsea moments from my era, from other eras as well. I watched the Chelsea-Liverpool game that was on last week, the game that got us into the Champions League with Gronka and Desailly scored, and we won 2-1, which was a monumental game for us, obviously. It may not have been that the way the club has gone since that. It was like a sliding doors moment, pretty much. So, yeah, I enjoy that. I mean, when you do finish playing, I don't miss playing as such, and obviously the job I've got now, it gives me enough to get on with. But there's some great moments when you look back and you see celebrations. It just, rekindles those celebrations in your head. So it's been, again, one of the beauties of lockdown for everybody, I think, has been looking back on some great moments.
Right. I just want to say thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, man.
No, it's been lovely speaking to you. Thank you.
You too.
Cheers.
Okay.